easy way or there's the hard way, Christine. You either just say it how it is or you around the topic because you feel like you need to justify why you're saying what you're saying. So it's your choice. It's your job to make a decision as to how you want to present your information. In this situation, as cheesy as it sounds, or as I think as it sounds, this video is about personal branding. Cringe. Such a fetch word, like 2018, everybody need a personal brand. The truth is, if you're a person and you want to attract more of what you want in your life, people have to know you for what you want and what you're good at and how you got there. And you know what that builds? A personal brand. You may or may not already know this. When I first quit Emirates, I wanted to get into corporate marketing, then no one wanted to hire me. I started a YouTube channel. If you're a viewer of my channel, then you either want to be cabin crew, your existing cabin crew, or your cabin crew that's just quit. If you're a new joiner to my channel, you may have come across this because I've talked about career or I may have talked about business, whatever the case. Whoever you are here, this applies to you. If you want to get what you want in your life, people have to know about it. And how can you display that? You display that through your persona. So this video is about personal branding because it changed my life. I actively chose to build my persona. From a moment of desperation came clarity, right? I was like, okay, people don't know me for what I want, for what I can do. How can I do it? Oh, let me start a channel. Let me start showing them what I can do, not just telling them. And that's how the YouTube channel came to be. So if you're a person like you're in a job and you don't want to be in that job anymore, you want to go to a different job, you want to start doing things that you love, you want to start even at least experimenting to understand what you love. You know, you might not even know what you love right now, but you want to go somewhere and you don't know what that is. Start off with a personal brand, man. Get people to know you for everything that's taken you to where you are today, right? So there's your past. Get people to start getting to know you for what you think your passions are. And I say what you think your passions are because sometimes there's even more to that. And get people to understand what your life experience has been, because all of your existing credibility lays here. And how you're going to get to where you want to go, it's kind of like displaying your knowledge as it develops. Don't get me wrong, you don't have to pose. You just have to display your learnings. The reason I'm making this video and the reason I'm sharing it is because it's the thing that changed my life. I know that sounds like such a cheesy, like, really, Christine, is that what happened? But you've got to remember, like, I was that girl who couldn't get the job that I wanted, and so I started a YouTube channel for free. And then as a result of that, I did get invited to be a travel vlogger for an airline, to travel around Asia and capture my experiences. Can you believe that? Like, that still blows my mind. I've worked with hotels, I've worked with brands, and I started to get paid to do the things that I love. And that was exactly my intention by creating a personal brand. The best part is that I didn't even need to know how I was going to get there. I learned that along the way. But the number one thing was like, show them what you can do, Christine. Just take like one step at a time. But the first thing is that people need to get to know you for what they can come to you for. And then what started happening was like, so I started my business and then I would sort of share my experiences on my Facebook personal page. Anyway, one day, a marketing manager of Sports Illustrated in Asia messaged me and he goes, "You're really good at branding yourself." And I thought, I wonder what makes him think that. And then I knew right away, my intention from the beginning was to show 360 degrees of myself. Why did I want to do it that way? It's because I didn't want to have to change who I was anymore, like moving forward. I was like pretty comfortable with myself. Of course, I wanted to grow, but I didn't want to change the things that I love. I didn't want to have to pretend that I was something that I was not. And so the way that I built my personal brand was completely through understanding some key components about myself, and that changed my life. But I find that a lot of the time, most people, we have these desires that we want to fulfill and we don't know how to get them. And my answer was personal brand, baby. I didn't know those words at the time. I didn't know that that's what I was doing. But I guess now that it's a thing, I was like, oh, the personal brand, the thing that I've been doing for a bit, that's what it is. Why I love the path so much was because it was a journey, and it is continuously a journey to self-discovery for me, because of the way that I've kind of approached this. It's been a journey to authenticity. Like, it does push, like, don't get me wrong. Sometimes, you know, the more people that see you, the more that you're kind of like, oh, is this the right thing that I should be putting out there? Is this what I want to show? Like, what are they going to think? I never thought that I'd ever have those thoughts because I'd never been like that. But the more people started following me, the ones that I knew, you know, it's always the ones that you know, that you do kind of think like, is this in line with what I want them to think about me? But then eventually I started to let that go because I thought faking it till I make it, I mean, you can do that, anyone can do that. I just think that it's not very sustainable because your personal brand, it's customer facing, it's people facing. You can try to pretend to be something else, it's just harder. It's harder to pretend to be something that you're not. So why do it? The easiest way to do this is to have some self-awareness, understand what you're about, understand what you like, what you don't like. Building a personal brand is great because you don't need much more other than yourself. You don't need much more other than yourself and your tools. Your job is to understand who you are and what role you play in the world to others so that you can continue to build that personal brand in a sustainable and enjoyable. Like, who doesn't want to have fun in building your own personal brand? You've got to have fun. If you want to start something new, like you want to start a side hustle, you want to start a business, or you're already in business, have a look into your personal brand. You know why? Because let's remember that the most common medium that we will be putting ourselves on these days is social media. And there's a reason why, for example, on Instagram, if you follow an account and their profile picture is a logo, then they may have a lot of followers, but you would trust that someone who has that big following and engaged audience, which is led by a logo, is a very long-standing or at least a very reputable company. But then you'll see accounts which are led by people, so the avatar is a person, like a person, and that's a lot easier to grow because you're a human. And you know why that's important? It's because social media is social. Social media. Social means to socialize. It's based on people. It's not brand media. It's not called logo media. It's not called corporation media. It's social media. It's led by people. So I'm gonna say it again. If you want to achieve something and you want to attract, like, don't get me wrong, this is not woo-woo stuff. I'm not saying to attract it by any other means, but PS, I'm very much into that. But if you want to draw attention in of the things that you already love, you first got to put it out there in the most authentic way possible. I'll ask you a question and I want you to have a think about it. What do you think people know you for? Put it in the comments, right? And then reflect on it and be like, do what people know me for versus what I know me for align? Do what people know me for align with where I want to go and what I want them to continue knowing me for? And is it sustainable? Can I start putting that out there and like continue, you know, to represent that same thing? I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, pop them below. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. Alright, that's it from me today. Speak to you soon. Bye.